Hello, vlog channel and cult members. Are we ready for another extra special sexy cult meeting today? If you're new here, by the way, don't get freaked out by that. We're like the coolest cult you could possibly join on the internet. Very free thinking, no brainwashing involved. All I ask is that you devote your soul to me. That's it. And then in return, I offer all of this wonderful, free, entertaining content for you. Now, this is a subsect of my cult where I suppose my more devoted members subscribe to. These are like bonus weekly meetings for the extra devoted, but our main weekly meetings are hosted over on my main channel, my horror channel, which is where I talk about horror movies. And today is no different really because most of the physical media in my collection is horror. And today, as you hopefully saw by the title and thumbnail, we are doing a physical media haul and anti-haul all in one. So just a big general update. But before I get into that, if you would like to join said cult, it's the easiest to join in the entire world. All you have to do is click subscribe, then click the like button and the notification bell. That way you never miss our next meeting. But let's jump right into today's order of business, shall we? I did something that I haven't done in so long, but I ordered a few movies off of Amazon when I was ordering some new equipment. I recently got all new audio equipment and new lights. I got a new camera. Like, my channel had a whole overhaul. And I was like, you know what? Since I'm spending thousands already, maybe I will get some of the titles on my wish list that are heavily discounted right now. So all these titles I think are currently under $10, and I decided to go ahead and get them because also in the past, I've had Hannibal season 3 on my wish list forever, but now it's like not for sale anymore, and I think the only copies I could find are probably on eBay. So I didn't want to miss my chance with some of these. I made sure to pick them up in case they like get discontinued or something. And I do have a ton of mail to open when I go home for Thanksgiving. That'll probably be my next vlog channel video. So if anybody sent me some of these, then I have until the end of January to return them. Or maybe I'll just do a giveaway, we'll see. But the first one would be Mom and Dad. I think this is such an underrated dark comedy. It stars Nicolas Cage and Selma Blair, and just frankly, not enough people talk about it. If you know me, you know I'm such a sucker for dark comedies, and this was definitely under $10 on Amazon right now, so I was like, fuck it. If you've never seen it, I highly recommend going in blind. The next Amazon thing that I picked up was this 4K edition of Evil Dead Rise. I probably would have just picked up the Blu-ray and been fine with that because 4Ks are very expensive, but again, this just dropped to like $10 on Amazon. I don't know if it's on sale everywhere else, but I was like, listen, if I'm gonna save $20, let me just hop on this sale right now. I don't know why they're doing that. Maybe they're almost out of stock from this like first physical media release. So they're like, whatever, we can liquidate and then we'll do like another edition next year or something. No idea why. Don't know, don't care. I got Evil Dead Rise on 4K for like $10. So maybe that's the tip that you needed. I hope that you can find it for the same. Lastly, from Amazon, I got a DVD copy of Black Christmas from 2006. This movie is so terrible and so early 2000s. I was like, I don't even care if I have it on Blu-ray. Like, DVD is fine. I think this was like $6. And it still comes with a bunch of special features. Like, What Have You Done? The remaking of Black Christmas. May All Your Christmases Be Black? A Filmmaker's Journey. Plus deleted scenes and 3 alternate endings. This movie has 3 alternate endings. I mean, I'm gonna get into all of that. They don't have that stuff wherever this movie is on streaming. I think it's only available to rent right now. I don't know if this is streaming free anywhere. And they definitely don't have those features. So, cha-ching. Score. Let's see if they have anything on Mom and Dad. No, I don't think there's any special features, but I'm not really inclined to believe that it has any anyways. And then I'm sure on the 4K there's gotta be some. Oh my god, are there no special features on this 4K? That's crazy. Maybe that's why it was so discounted. How strange. But you know what? I don't need it because the director Lee Cronin posts like pretty much still every day to this Twitter thread of behind the scenes stuff. So, you know, that's fine. That does it for the Amazon haul. So let's get into this thrifting haul. And I know that you can already see this, so let's just go over it. This is a VHS box set of Audrey Hepburn's Best. It comes in this really beautiful box, and so you can see her there and Audrey Hepburn. But this contains Sabrina, Breakfast at Tiffany's, and Roman Holiday. Roman Holiday I've long touted as being probably my favorite movie of all time. Doesn't matter the genre, whatever. Like, that is probably my favorite movie of all time. Makes me sob like a baby every single time, and it's still so comforting, and I don't know. I also love Sabrina. I grew up on Sabrina. I did not grow up on Breakfast at Tiffany's, but still so iconic nonetheless. Like, these are her 3 most iconic movies in my opinion. And I got this whole beautiful box set, and I checked all the tapes. There's no mold, no wear and tear. Got the whole thing for $3. That comes out to $1 per VHS, or it was like $2.99 plus tax. That's absurd to me. Like, literally one man's trash is quite literally another man's treasure. Like, are we joking? Got this for $3. I thought that it might break the bank. I don't know, because sometimes Goodwill has like vintage vintage stuff that's sometimes a little bit more expensive. Not today. This is probably the best piece in today's haul, although I don't know, let's see. These three, I believe I also got at the exact same Goodwill that same day. So all of these items came from the same place. So let's go with this one next because you probably already saw it atop of the pile. What's New Scooby-Doo, the entirety of season 2. I have just been on the biggest Scooby-Doo come up recently. If you saw, not my last haul, but I think the one before that, then you know how much Scooby-Doo content I recently found. Like those Clippy DVD, early 2000s Warner Bros. Editions with episodes of Scooby-Doo on them. So this fills in some of the gaps because the other DVDs that I got had like 4 episodes each. They came from different seasons of the show, but they were themed. Like one of them was a Halloween pack, another one was like a Christmas pack. So this fills in all the gaps that I was missing from season 2. So now I need to find season 1 and I think, what are there, like 4 seasons of it? I don't know, but this was a come up. Let's scoot you back forward there and I will put you there. Although this was $3.99, isn't that crazy? Don't mind paying that, but this was cheaper than this. I don't know. Up next, we got a movie that I've never heard of before. It's called Taking Lives and it stars Angelina Jolie and Ethan Hawke. My subs know Ethan Hawke is probably my favorite actor of all time. I adore him, comfort actor for me. And Angelina Jolie, what a serve this poster is. She's phenomenal as well. I had never heard of this. I don't know that it's a horror because it's described like quite literally and plainly here as a thriller. There are a ton of special features on here, like Taking Lives Crime Lab, of 4 probing documentaries with cast and crew. So I believe it's like a crime thriller, definitely not horror. Your name, credit cards, life. It's the ultimate identity theft. An elusive serial killer has for 20 years assumed his victims' identities, but now there's a breakthrough and FBI profiler Elena Scott is assigned to the case. It's early 2000s, it's an old DVD, it's probably not that good, but it has actors that I really like, including Kiefer Sutherland. So sometimes when that happens, I'm just like, fuck it, I'm gonna try it out. Can always just redonate it, you know? It's only $3. It's the same as if I took a chance on it, like renting it on Amazon or something. But if I like it, I get the benefit of owning it and watching it as many times as I want. I fucking love physical media. Lastly, from the thrifting haul, and last part of the haul for today in general, I found The Breakfast Club unopened. Sorry if there's a glare, but I haven't taken it out of its plastic yet. This is the 30th anniversary edition. So it's got some cool bonus features on it. There's Accepting the Facts, The Breakfast Club trivia track, Sincerely Yours, a 12-part documentary, The Origins of the Brat Pack, and then there's also feature commentary with Anthony Michael Hall and Judd Nelson. Just a really good edition of a classic movie that I hadn't owned before. So that does it for the physical media haul. Time to get into the anti-haul. So let's switcheroo these piles here. Most of the movies, well, all the movies in the anti-haul actually are movies that were sent to me. One of them was sent to me by Horror Pack, which is surprising because usually I'm getting rid of like a few Horror Pack movies per anti-haul, but all the rest of them, the other 6 titles in the anti-haul, came from subscribers. And I know that I don't need to clarify this because no one has ever expressed any like offense to me getting rid of stuff they've sent me. But part of the reason why I do these anti-hauls and why I've really been making it a priority to like go through my physical media and get rid of stuff is because I just simply don't have the space. Currently, all the physical media that I love and that I know that I'm gonna hold on to forever is completely overflowing. All my shelves are full, so even some of the physical media that I love and adore and want to have on display is tucked away in storage. So I am trying to downsize all of the stuff that I just know that I would never watch again and don't want to keep. That's not to say that some of these were not worth the one-time watch, because some of them were, so let's go through that. So first up on the chopping block is You Might Be the Killer. This is one of those that I think was worth the one-time watch, but it just wasn't that good, you know? Not good enough to want to watch again, and I'm gonna try to mitigate the effect that always befalls me, where I'm like, maybe it's not that bad. Maybe it's not as bad as I thought. I should give it a redemption rewatch. Most of the time, it's not worth it. There are some classic films, I've explained this so many times, but like The Shining, you know, that took me a couple watches to fall in love with it. Some movies, you know that's not gonna be the case. It was like cute, it was fine, but it was just really, really derivative of like Scream and Cabin in the Woods, while not being as funny or daring as Scream or Cabin in the Woods. So not one that I would rewatch. I would just rewatch one of those others I mentioned. Up next on the chopping block is Legend, starring Tom Cruise. This is a 1980s movie directed by Ridley Scott that is so weird. It also stars Tim Curry in what I believe is like a super iconic role of his, but I lasted maybe like 15-20 minutes into this movie and was just like, nope. Fantasy is a really, really hard sell for me. I even rated the first Lord of the Rings movie 3 stars, which some of y'all were mad at me. I'm really liking the second movie though. It's been kind of a fractured viewing, but my boyfriend and I have been watching it in like hour increments. We're gonna finish it tonight and I'm really excited because I've been loving the second movie. But fantasy is a hard sell for me, and this was just so weird. I'm not big on Tom Cruise in general unless he's in an action movie, in which case I'm like, okay, I guess I can forgive the Scientology. But this was pre-manicured eyebrows Tom Cruise days. This was pre-veneers, okay? He's crawling around this movie like Tarzan with this crazy unibrow, and I'm just like, they were trying to make this guy a sex symbol with this movie? It's so bizarre, and there's like goblins and elves and weird, and like I just was not into it. Like immediately I knew, I was like, this is not gonna be for me, and I held out for like 20 minutes and it just was not getting better. I was like, nope, absolutely not. So yeah, you know, no thanks. Next up, this movie I think is from the 70s. It's called The Children. Also based on the poster of it, you can tell that it's maybe not the most high quality film. This was another one that I did not finish. This one, oh no, it's from 1980, so it was made in the 70s. And obviously, you know, it's called The Children. If you couldn't tell, something is terrifyingly wrong with the children of Ravenback. Basically, they turn into like radioactive zombies, I guess, but I wouldn't know because I didn't make it that far. The audio design of this movie was so terrible that I couldn't get through it. This one I also lasted maybe like 20 minutes before I was like, you know what, I'm throwing in the towel. It is so true what they say. It's like one of the first things that you learn in film school, that an audience is willing to forgive shitty imagery, like if the visuals are not good. What they are not willing to forgive is bad audio, because it is infinitely more distracting. Like bad visuals you can attribute maybe to being like, oh well, that's the style, you know, maybe they did that on purpose. And visually this movie looks good, like I really like the feeling of it, but the audio is so, literally anytime that there is a word that someone utters with the letter S in it, the audio would do this like weird crackling shit and sort of sound like it was peaking. And there are a lot of S's. There are a lot of the letter S in many words of the English language. So as you can imagine, that was quite frustrating. So I was like, you know what? I have other early 80s movies in my collection. I don't think I'm gonna miss this one that much. Next up, unfortunately, would be Personal Shopper. This is a Criterion Collection movie, so I think that I will probably include it in a giveaway. Although I did receive it broken, so it's not like the best. So I was thinking maybe I would just donate it, but I don't know if I donated like a broken package if they would like accept it and resell it. Like I don't want them to just throw it away because it is Criterion Collection, so obviously, you know, it's like a special edition. We'll probably include this in a giveaway because a lot of people do like this movie. For me, it was like worth the one-time watch, I guess. I don't even know if I logged it on Letterboxd though, because my viewing was kind of fractured. I don't think that I really felt right about logging it on Letterboxd when I didn't properly watch it. I just got so bored. A lot of this movie is just like her texting and like reading texts on her phone. I find that deeply anti-cinematic, and I don't enjoy that when there's a lot of like texting and like a lot of like showing an iPhone on screen. So that really just severely disengaged me and I felt bored by the movie. It's a slow burn, and usually I'm into those, and I love Kristen Stewart. Her performance is fantastic. There's no denying that, but the movie is just not for me. Up next, this movie definitely was worth the one-time watch, and I'm almost like still debating keeping it a little bit because Bill Sage is in it, and if you've seen him in the Wrong Turn remake from 2021, then you know why that man has a soft spot in my heart. There are some scenes where like there's some fun action and it feels a little bit unexpected, but overall, even though the idea of this movie is so good and there were a few kind of like jaw-dropping moments of like, oh my god, the execution of everything was really poor. So I did find that it was worth the one-time watch. Like if this is streaming free, I would imagine something like this is on Tubi, then I would recommend giving it a one-time watch, but you know, just don't expect anything great. Just if you're in the market for something that's a bit unique that maybe you haven't seen before, then maybe give this one a go. It does for fender benders what Jaws did for the ocean, you know what I mean? But overall, just the execution, the acting, the camera work, all of that, it's really amateur, and you're like, damn, Bill Sage, I kind of want better for you. So luckily he did do Wrong Turn like 5 years later, but whatever. It's not bad. It's far from the worst movie I've seen. It's probably my favorite movie that I've watched in like this anti-haul, but I feel good. I feel satisfied. I don't feel the need to like keep this and watch it again. A lot of movies, honestly, that we come across in our life are just gonna be one-time watch movies, and that's just one of them. Same with this one, which is The Intruder, although I do think the quality of this one is slightly lower than Fender Bender. This was the only horror pack movie that I'm getting rid of in this anti-haul, and this movie is like fine, you know? The acting is actually really good. It stars Dennis Quaid. We love him in Parent Trap. Ugh, whatever, I can't find it. The other leads of this movie, they're really good. So it's nothing wrong with the camera work, the acting, nothing. But for some reason, I said this on my Letterboxd review, for some reason, they want you to spend an hour and 42 minutes knowing exactly what's gonna happen. It is so utterly predictable, like, so it kind of disengaged me. I thought the first act was really interesting, and I was planning on throwing this on to, like, just do some chores around my room and stuff because I didn't have a good feeling about it. But then I ended up just sitting on my bed and, like, being fully engaged by the first act. But then as soon as I could tell it was taking, like, the super predictable route, I was like, okay, let me, you know, set up my new tripod stand and whatever. It's perfectly serviceable, like, it's entertaining if you only watch, like, 10 movies a year, probably. If you're a horror or thriller fan, this is absolutely nothing new. So maybe give this a one-time watch, or maybe just watch one of your favorite thrillers again. Now, the last movie I have to talk about today is Undead. This is, I believe, an Australian zombie film. And again, with this one, I was feeling like pretty entertained by the first act. There is some like over-the-top ridiculous stuff that lets you know the tone right away. And I was on board with that. I was like, okay, like, you know, I see you, some Sam Raimi wannabes, that's cool. And I really thought that I would get through this whole movie, but pretty soon the shtick got old. Sam Raimi, with his absurdity, he manages to keep it so fresh, and it's like every single beat in a scene takes you on a different type of turn. This movie could not accomplish that, and you could also just tell that some of the actors were maybe feeling a little self-conscious. Just not everyone was super committed to the bit, and you have to be. If you're going for that like absurdist tone, you have to. They didn't quite pull that off with this one. I ended up getting pretty disengaged because a lot of the humor was just really cringy. Definitely not ha-ha laugh out loud. It was just like, ooh, uncomfortable laughter. Even though some of it worked, and the first act I didn't think was terrible. If you're a really big fan of zombie movies, I think that it's like perfectly serviceable. You'd probably like it as like a one-time watch. What blows my mind though about this especially is that it is the same, are they twins? I don't know, they're brothers that also directed Jigsaw, the 8th installment of the Saw franchise. That blew my mind. I'm like, Lionsgate really saw this on their reel and they were like, yep, those are the brothers for us. I don't know about that. This one was another one that I just couldn't quite get through. So that does it for both the anti-haul and the regular intake haul. Super excited about this, especially because literally in my last video, I told you guys that I found the original Star Wars trilogy on VHS. So what are the odds? Like, what is with these 3-pack VHS bundles that I'm finding recently? I love this hobby so much. I love physical media, and I hope that you do too. I hope that as I've started to talk about it more often on this second channel of mine, maybe it's inspired you a bit. Maybe we could consider this activism against big streamers. Fuck you for deleting movies out of existence. I want to spend money on a physical copy that maybe the director gets a little chip of in the back end deal. I want to ensure that the movies I love are gonna get to live with me forever. So maybe, even if I haven't convinced you yet, maybe you're getting there. That's all I can hope for. But anyways, you might have noticed there's some names scrolling on screen. These are, of course, my wonderful patrons. These people keep the lights on at Haunted Hippie Studios, and I guess on the Kylie Roseanne channel as well. Especially over here because this channel is not monetized. So they're the reason for the season. They are the reason why this content is coming at ya. So if you want to join them and support me and get even more weekly bonus content, then join the Patreon. We talk about a lot of fun stuff over there. Most recently, I did a little video where I seshed and I reacted to horror movie news. I'll probably do a solo review of It's a Wonderful Knife over there. So stay up to date with us, you know? Follow me on the main channel, on the horror channel, on Patreon, on my Instagram, all the places, you know? Instagram is where you'll stay up to date if you want to catch me on a live stream on my main channel, or if you want to stay up to date with whatever deep dives I'm working on, or just, you know, my content in general. More than anything though, I just hope that you enjoyed this video and that I catch you in the next one. Bye!